The sun hit the hood just right, making the red shine like fire. My heart thumped as I ran my hand over the curve of the car. Finally, I whispered, "You're mine." Dad always said I'd never afford one. My friends joked I'd spend my life riding buses. But here I was, a 20-year-old kid with grease still under my nails, standing beside my dream. When I pulled up to Sophie's house, she was already outside, phone in hand, snapping pictures before I could even step out. "Oh my God, Liam?" she squealed. "You actually bought it?" I smiled. "Yep. Hard work finally paid off." She ran her fingers along the door. "It's beautiful, like, really beautiful." "Thanks," I said, expecting her to look at me next. She didn't. Her reflection stared back at her from the paint. "You want to go for a drive?" I asked. "Obviously." She laughed, hopping in before I could even open her door. I started the engine, that deep growl that made every penny worth it. Her hands gripped the seat. "It sounds insane. Ethan would die if he saw this." My stomach tightened. "Ethan? You know the school hunk," she said casually. "He's obsessed with cars like this. His dad has a whole collection. But this one's different." "Yeah," I muttered, glancing at her. "It's not his." She didn't catch the edge in my tone. "You should post this on Insta. Everyone would freak out." I chuckled, keeping my eyes on the road. "Not my thing. Come on," she teased. "Don't act all humble. You finally have something worth showing off." Her words stung more than I wanted to admit. I worked 2 jobs, skipped nights out, sold my old guitar, and not for showing off, but to prove something to myself. "I didn't buy it for attention," I said quietly. She looked at me, confused. "Then why?" "Because I promised myself I would. When people doubted me, this was what I pictured. Success." She leaned back, smirking. "Still sounds like you want to impress someone." "Maybe," I said. "But not the way you think." We hit the main road, the wind rushing through the open windows. She laughed, her hair flying everywhere. For a second, she looked like the girl I fell for, carefree, wild, alive. "This is crazy," she said. "You driving a sports car? Never thought I'd see the day. Guess hard work beats luck sometimes. Or maybe you just got lucky," she teased. I gave her a look. "You think I got lucky?" She laughed again. "Relax, I'm kidding." "You earned it." "I'm just saying, Ethan's been talking about getting one of these for months." "Ethan again, huh?" I said. She shrugged. "He's just into cars. I'm saying he'd be impressed, that's all." I didn't reply. She noticed. "You're not jealous, are you?" "Jealous?" I forced a laugh. "Of Ethan? The guy who takes mirror selfies in the locker room?" She giggled. "You noticed that too?" "How could I not? He practically shines his abs for the camera." "Hey, don't be mean."
"He's nice." "Nice," I repeated.
"Right." Silence filled the car for a moment. The only sound was the hum of the engine and my thoughts. Loud, bitter, restless. She suddenly said, "Can I drive it?" I looked at her like she'd asked to hold my heart. "You? Drive this?" "Yeah, come on, just around the block." I shook my head. "You don't even know how to handle a stick." "I can learn," she said, smiling sweetly. "You could teach me." Her smile, the one that always broke my guard, almost worked. Almost. "Not today," I said, gripping the wheel tighter. "This one's special," she pouted. "You're no fun," I smirked. "I'm fun enough to give you a ride in it." Her laughter filled the car again, light and easy, but I couldn't shake the unease building in me. Every compliment she gave the car sounded like one she'd never given me. When we stopped at a red light, she fixed her lipstick in the mirror. "You know, with a car like this, people are going to look at you differently." "I hope not." "I mean in a good way," she said quickly. "Like finally people will see you as successful." "I didn't buy it for them to see me," I said. "I bought it for me." She rolled her eyes playfully. "You're such a deep thinker." Someone has to be. When the light turned green, I accelerated, the engine roaring to life. She screamed, half terrified, half thrilled, and I couldn't help but laugh. For a moment, the tension melted away, but as we cruised down the highway, she kept glancing at passing cars, then at mine, then at herself in the window. It was like she was already imagining someone else behind the wheel. "Do you think Ethan would ever drive something like this?" she asked suddenly. I stared straight ahead. "Probably. His dad could buy 10 of these without blinking," she nodded. "Still, I bet he'd love this one." I exhaled slowly. You really like talking about him, don't you? She frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, I said quickly. Forget it. She turned away, crossing her arms. You're acting weird. Maybe I just don't like hearing my girlfriend talk about another guy while sitting in my car, I said. That's insecure, she shot back. Or honest. We drove in silence for a while after that. The road stretched ahead, endless and empty, but it didn't feel freeing anymore. It felt heavy. When I dropped her off, she leaned in to kiss me but paused to take one more photo of the car. I'm posting this, she said. You look so cool with it. I look cool? I asked, she smiled. Well, the car helps. Her words hung in the air long after she walked away. I sat there, the engine idling, watching her disappear into her house. My chest felt tight, not because of what she said, but because deep down I already knew she hadn't fallen for me. She'd fallen for the idea of me, the one standing beside a shiny red car. And that was the night I realized something dangerous. When love starts looking like status, heartbreak is only a turn away. It started small, the kind of changes you only notice when your heart's paying attention. Her good morning texts turned into mourning. Her calls came late, then not at all. And when they did, her voice felt miles away. One night I asked, Everything okay, Soph? Of course, she said, laughing lightly. Why wouldn't it be? I don't know. You just sound different lately, she sighed. Liam, not this again. You're overthinking. Maybe, I muttered. But you've been hanging out with Ethan a lot. Even Noah noticed. Her tone sharpened. So now you and Noah talk about me? That's not what I meant. She cut me off. Ethan's just a friend. Stop being paranoid. I tried to laugh it off. I'm not paranoid. Just noticing things. Then stop noticing, she said flatly. You'll ruin what we have. After that, the line went quiet. When we hung up, I stared at the phone, feeling stupid for even asking. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was imagining things. The next day at school, Noah threw his arm around my shoulder. You look like crap, man. Thanks, I said. Exactly what I needed to hear, he grinned. You and Sophie fighting again? I sighed. Not fighting, just off. He raised an eyebrow. She's been hanging with Ethan, huh? I frowned. How do you know that? Dude, everyone knows. They're like the school's new favorite duo, laughing, whispering, looking way too comfortable. I forced a laugh. You're exaggerating. No, he said, serious now. I'm not. You really trust her? I do, I said quickly. She wouldn't do that to me. He stared at me for a long moment. You always say that right before she does exactly that. Harsh, I muttered. Real, he shot back. Look, I'm your friend. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. She's playing games, bro. Open your eyes. I wanted to get angry, but all I could say was, you don't know her like I do. Maybe not, he said. But I know you, and I know what loyalty looks like. You're loyal to a fault. That line stuck with me all day. Later that week, I met Sophie outside the cafe we used to call our place. She looked stunning, as always, but something was off. Her smile, the one that used to make me forget everything, now felt practiced. Hey, I said. Hey, she replied, checking her phone. Busy? Just Ethan texting. He's asking about the group project. Group project? I repeated, she nodded. Yeah, we got paired in marketing class. I tried to sound casual. You seem to spend a lot of time with him lately. She glanced up, eyes sharp. We're just friends, Liam. I didn't say otherwise. You implied it. I didn't mean to. Then stop reading into things, she said. Seriously, it's getting annoying. Annoying? Yes. Every time I talk to someone, you act like I'm cheating. I never said that, I said quietly. I just notice things. Then, maybe stop noticing. Her words hit harder than she probably meant. I swallowed, forcing a smile. All right. No more noticing, she exhaled, relieved. Thank you. We sat in silence for a while. She scrolled on her phone while I stared at the coffee between us. It had gone cold, like everything else lately. Do you even want to be here? I asked finally. Of course, she said, glancing up with that same half-smile. Why wouldn't I? I don't know, I said. You just don't seem like you do. Liam, please, she groaned. Don't start again. I leaned back, frustrated. Then tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you don't feel different. She looked away. You're imagining things. Those words again. Sharp, familiar, dismissive. After she left, Noah called. So, how'd it go? I laughed bitterly. She said I'm imagining things. Classic, he muttered. You know what that means, right? Yeah, I said quietly. It means I'm right, he sighed. Bro, I hate being right about this stuff. You deserve better. I know, I said. But it's hard to walk away when part of you still believes the good parts are real. Believing in something that's breaking you isn't loyalty, he said softly. It's self-destruction. His words hit harder than he knew. That night, Sophie didn't text. Not even a good night. I scrolled through old messages, the ones where she used to say she missed me, loved me, couldn't wait to see me. Now I was lucky to get a heart emoji. The next morning, I saw her in the hallway. She was laughing, that loud, full laugh I hadn't heard in weeks. Then I saw why. Ethan was beside her, leaning close, whispering something that made her tilt her head and smile in a way that wasn't mine anymore. My chest tightened. I wanted to walk up, say something, claim what was slipping away. But instead, I turned and walked the other direction. Noah caught up with me outside. You saw them, didn't you? Yeah, he sighed. I'm sorry, man, I shrugged. Maybe I really am imagining things. He stopped me. You're not. You just don't want to believe it. I looked down. Because once I do, it's over, he nodded. Then maybe it needs to be. I didn't answer. I just kept walking, every step heavier than the last. That night, I stared at my phone again, at the screen that used to light up with her name. I typed out a message, deleted it, then typed it again. Do you still love me? I hovered over send, my thumb shaking. Then the screen flashed, a new message. It was from Sophie. Sorry, can't talk. Studying with Ethan. I stared at it for a long time. Then I set the phone face down, whispering to myself, maybe her smile just changed direction. That night was supposed to be ours. Sophie had said, I'll be studying late, don't wait up. But something about her tone didn't sit right. The way her voice trembled, the hesitation before hanging up. I tried to shake it off, told myself I was being paranoid again. Still, the thought wouldn't leave. Noah texted me, You okay? I replied, Yeah, just restless. Then, after a pause, Think I'll go surprise her at the cafe. He responded fast, Don't. You might not like what you see. I frowned at the screen. What's that supposed to mean? No reply, so I grabbed my keys. The streets were quiet, the night air cold. My car's engine purred beneath me, my dream machine, the one I'd spent years saving for. It used to feel like freedom. That night it felt heavy, like it knew something I didn't. When I pulled up near the cafe, I saw her car wasn't there. I almost turned back, thinking maybe I'd overreacted. Then I noticed something. Something impossible. My car. It was parked across the street. Headlights off. Engine running. For a second, I thought maybe someone had stolen it. My pulse spiked. I crept closer, heart hammering, until I saw movement inside. 2 silhouettes. A girl's hand on a guy's chest. A familiar laugh, hers. I froze. Sophie? I whispered, even though she couldn't hear me. Then it happened. The moment that split my life in two. She leaned in. He met her halfway. Their lips collided, slow, deep, familiar, and it wasn't in some random car. It was my car. My chest felt like it cracked open. I couldn't breathe. Every second stretched into eternity. My hand gripped the door handle, but I couldn't move. Ethan's voice broke the silence inside. You sure he won't find out? She giggled. Liam, please. He trusts me too much. I stumbled back. My throat burned. My stomach twisted like I'd swallowed glass. Then she said it. The line that would haunt me for years. I told him I was studying. He probably thinks I'm still at the cafe. Ethan laughed. You're wicked. Maybe, she whispered. But you like that, I wanted to scream. To yank the door open. To ask why. But instead I stood there, shaking, silent, invisible. Then, as if fate wanted to humiliate me one last time, Ethan's hand brushed the steering wheel. He grinned. Nice car. Yours? Sophie smiled. Yeah, well, kind of. Kind of? He let me drive it sometimes. So, he said, running his fingers along the dashboard, he buys the car, and you bring me for a ride? She laughed again, that same laugh that once melted my world. Guess he doesn't have to know. That was it. The final nail. I took a step back, my shoes crunching against gravel. Her head turned. Her eyes found mine. Everything stopped. The color drained from her face. Her smile vanished. She opened the door, stumbling out. Liam, wait! It's not what it looks like, I laughed. It came out sharp and broken. Then what is it, Sophie? A study session? She reached for me. Please, let me explain. Explain what? That you used my car to cheat on me? Liam, I swear, don't, I said, stepping back. Don't say another word. Ethan leaned out from the passenger seat, smirking. Hey man, chill, I snapped. Shut up, Ethan! He raised his hands, smug. Hey, your girl came to me. I stared at him, then at her, trembling, teary-eyed, lips still red from him. You said you were studying, I whispered. I was going to tell you. When? I demanded. After the next ride? After the next kiss? Tears streamed down her face. It was a mistake. No, I said quietly. A mistake is tripping over someone. You chose this, she sobbed, reaching out again. Liam, please, I turned away. You know what hurts most? You didn't just cheat on me. You cheated in my car, she gasped. It wasn't like that. I looked at her one last time. It was exactly like that. I got into Noah's car. He'd pulled up behind me, having followed my location. His face was grim. You saw? Yeah, I whispered. He clenched his jaw. Want me to handle it? I shook my head. No, I'm done. Sophie banged on my window. Please, Liam, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... I started the engine. Her words drowned beneath the roar. She shouted again, voice breaking. I love you. I stared straight ahead. No, I said under my breath. You loved the car. Then I hit the gas. Her figure blurred in the mirror, shrinking, fading, gone. Noah didn't speak. Neither did I. The silence between us was thick with what couldn't be undone. After a while, he muttered, You okay? I forced a laugh. Yeah, just watched the woman I love kiss another guy in my car. Totally fine, he glanced at me. You didn't deserve that. Maybe not, I said. But I sure earned a lesson. What lesson? I gripped the wheel tighter. Never trust someone who looks at your things before they look at you. He nodded slowly. You're gonna get through this, man. Maybe, I said quietly. But not tonight. The city lights blurred past, streaks of gold and red reflecting on the windshield. My hands trembled, my chest heavy. When I pulled into my driveway, the seat beside me was empty, where she once sat, laughing, holding my hand, pretending forever meant something. I turned off the engine. The silence roared louder than anything. For the first time in years, I hated my car. Not because of what it was, but because of what it witnessed. I leaned back, closed my eyes, and whispered to no one. She thought the car was his. And maybe in her world it always was. I hadn't slept in days. My phone kept lighting up with her name, but I couldn't bring myself to answer. The silence in my room felt heavier than her lies. Liam, please pick up. Sophie's voice cracked through a voicemail. It wasn't what you think. I just got... Confused. That word stuck in my throat like poison. I tossed the phone on my bed and grabbed my jacket. I needed air. At school, everyone stared. Whispers followed me down the hallway. He found them in his car, someone snickered. My fist clenched, but I kept walking. Noah caught up with me outside the cafeteria. Bro, you look wrecked, he said. I am, I muttered. He leaned on the railing beside me. She used your love like a stepping stone, man. You gave her everything, and she cashed it in for a hunk with fake charm. I swallowed hard. I don't even know what hurts more, the lie or the fact that she didn't even care I saw. Noah shook his head. She cared, but not about you. She cared about losing her little game. His words cut deep, but I knew he was right. Later, Sophie cornered me near the parking lot. Her eyes were red, her mascara smeared. Liam, please, just listen to me. Why? I snapped. So you can say it wasn't a kiss? That it was just confusion again? She took a shaky breath. I didn't mean to hurt you. Ethan and I were just what? I interrupted. Testing how stupid I am? She flinched. It wasn't about him. It was about me feeling small next to you sometimes. You're different, focused. I felt like I was holding you back. I laughed bitterly. So you kissed him in my car to feel better? Her lip trembled. I thought it was his car. That line hit harder than any slap could. I stared at her, disbelief crawling up my spine. You thought it was his car? She nodded, silent tears rolling down. I took a step back. You didn't fall for him. You fell for what you thought he owned. Liam, stop. It's exactly that, I said coldly.
You never loved me.
You loved what I could give you. She reached for me, but I pulled away. The scent of her perfume made my stomach twist. That night, Noah came over. I sat on the hood of my car, staring at the empty street. She said she thought it was his car, I muttered. Noah whistled low. Damn, that's next level shallow. Yeah, I looked at the headlights reflecting in the glass. I keep replaying it. The way she smiled at him. The way I froze. Don't, Noah said firmly. You did nothing wrong. You showed her real love, and she showed you her real self. End of story. I can't just switch it off, I said quietly. He shrugged. Then don't. Let it hurt. But don't let it own you. His words sank into me, raw and real. Maybe pain wasn't something to escape. It was something to understand. The next day, Ms. Rivera stopped me after class. Liam, she said softly, you've been distracted lately. I forced a smile. Just tired, ma'am, she studied me. I've taught long enough to recognize heartbreak when I see it. My chest tightened. It's nothing. I'll be fine. Heartbreak isn't nothing, she said gently. But remember this. Truth always reveals itself, even when we're too blind to see it at first. I looked down. It already did, she nodded, her voice steady. Then let it teach you, not define you. When I left the classroom, her words echoed in my head. Let it teach you, not define you. That evening, I parked my car by the old field and sat alone, watching the sunset bleed across the horizon. Every memory of Sophie played like a cruel movie, her laugh, her hand in mine, her voice saying my name. Then that kiss, that betrayal. For the first time, I didn't cry. I just felt hollow. Noah texted, "You good?" I typed back, getting there because maybe I was. Maybe this pain was the start of something else, something sharper, stronger. The rumors around school kept spreading. People said Ethan's car won Sophie's heart. The irony was almost laughable. That shiny car she bragged about, the one she thought belonged to Ethan, was mine. I leaned back, eyes on the sky, and whispered, "Let her have her illusion." For the first time since that night, I smiled. Not because it didn't hurt, but because I finally understood. She didn't break me. She exposed herself, and somewhere deep inside, a spark flickered. The kind that burns quietly before turning into something fierce, something like revenge. I started the engine, the sound rumbling through the quiet night. "You played me, Sophie," I said under my breath, "but I'll rewrite the ending." The rearview mirror caught my reflection, tired but not defeated. For the first time in weeks, I drove not to escape, but to begin. The aftertaste of betrayal lingered on my tongue, bitter but cleansing. I wasn't the same Liam anymore. I was the one who finally saw the truth, and I wasn't going to let her forget it. I went off the radar for 3 days. No calls, no texts, no social media. I needed silence, just enough to let the world start wondering. When I finally walked back into school, everything stopped for a second. New jacket. Clean fade, calm eyes. Same me, just rebuilt. Yo, Noah said, his brows rising. You look like a whole reboot, I smirked. Guess I needed an update. Whispers filled the hallway. I heard my name mixed with Sophie's, Ethan's, and the word car over and over again. It didn't bother me anymore. It almost fueled me. At lunch, I sat at the edge of the courtyard, scrolling through dealership listings on my phone. That's when I saw it, the logo. The same one from my car purchase documents. Below it, Collins Automotive Group. My curiosity sparked. I did some digging. A quick search revealed something unexpected. Ethan's father's company was tied to Collins Automotive through a sponsorship deal. My mind started connecting dots. That evening, I drove to the dealership. The glass doors slid open and the air smelled like new leather and money. "Can I help you?" a man in a gray suit asked. "Yeah," I said. "I'm looking for Mr. Collins." He led me to a sleek office where a man in his 50s sat behind a massive desk, smiling like he owned half the town. "Mr. Collins," he greeted, shaking my hand. "How can I help you?" I'm Liam Brooks, I said, sliding my car contract across the desk. Bought the GT model a few months back. He glanced at it. Ah, yes. Beautiful car. How's she running? Perfect, I said. Actually, I came to ask about something interesting. I heard your company sponsors the Weston family. Ethan Weston, right? He nodded proudly. That's correct. His father manages part of our public outreach division. Why do you ask? I leaned forward, pretending to sound casual. Just curious. It's funny. I thought the sponsorship included a vehicle, but I found out Ethan's been driving my car around, telling everyone it's his. Mr. Collins frowned. Your car? Yeah. He's been showing it off at parties, saying it's a gift from his dad. The thing is, my registration still says Liam Brooks. He blinked, realization dawning. That's unacceptable. We can't have someone misrepresenting a dealership's name like that. I shrugged. Didn't want to cause trouble. Just figured you should know. Mr. Collins nodded, his face tightening. Thank you, Liam. I'll handle this personally. I smiled faintly. I'm sure you will. When I left, I didn't look back. I didn't need to. Some fires don't need gasoline, they just need a spark. By Monday, the rumors flipped. Did you hear? One student whispered near my locker. Ethan lost his sponsorship deal. Something about a misuse of dealership branding. I kept my head down, pretending to scroll my phone. Noah caught me smirking. You had something to do with this, didn't you? He said. Maybe the universe just balanced itself, I replied. He laughed. Karma in a leather jacket. That's wild. Across the hall, Ethan slammed his locker door, face red. Sophie stood nearby trying to talk to him, but he brushed her off and stormed away. She looked lost, her gaze flicking toward me for a second. I didn't blink. Later that day, Sophie cornered me near the gym. You think you're clever, don't you? She hissed. I raised an eyebrow. Clever for what? For ruining Ethan's sponsorship, she snapped. You're jealous. This is all because of me. I chuckled softly. Not everything revolves around you, Sophie. Sometimes people just get what they earn. She folded her arms. You always thought you were better than everyone. I stepped closer. No, I just stopped pretending I wasn't. Her lips trembled. You've changed. Yeah, I said quietly. That's the point. She looked like she wanted to say more, but turned away instead. Her heels clicked against the floor, each step echoing like the end of a song. After school, Noah and I sat in the parking lot eating fries from a greasy paper bag. So what's next, mastermind? He asked. I smiled faintly. Nothing. The switch already flipped. What switch? The one where I stop being the guy who gets hurt and start being the one who doesn't need to prove anything. He grinned. Man, I like this version of you. Me too, I admitted. A few days later, I drove past Ethan's house. His fancy car was gone, replaced by his dad's old sedan. I didn't stop. I just watched from the corner as Sophie stood outside his gate arguing with him. Her voice rose, his hand waved dismissively, and then she stormed off, furious. Karma was moving quietly, perfectly timed, without me saying a word. That night, I texted Mr. Collins. Appreciate how you handled that issue. He replied within minutes. We don't tolerate dishonesty. Thank you for bringing it to my attention, Liam. I stared at the message for a while, then put my phone down and looked at my reflection in the car window. I wasn't angry anymore. Not at Sophie. Not at Ethan. The silence that used to feel like emptiness now felt like control. The next morning, people didn't whisper anymore. They stared differently. Less pity, more respect. Noah nudged me as we walked through the hall. You notice how quiet everyone's gotten? Yeah, I said. That's what happens when the truth speaks for itself. He laughed. You should trademark that line. I smiled, brushing past Sophie and Ethan without a glance. Their little storm had passed, but mine had only begun. The switch had flipped, and I wasn't turning it off. The sun was merciless that afternoon, burning over the school courtyard where banners read, Dream Drives, Show Off Your Ride. Everyone was buzzing, cameras out, laughter loud. I stood by the fence, hands in my pockets, watching Sophie and Ethan pose beside my car like they owned it. Sophie ran her hand along the hood. You like it? She said to a group of girls. Ethan just got it from his dad's connections. I almost laughed. His dad's connections. Yeah, the connection was my signature on the purchase papers. Noah elbowed me. You sure you don't want to stop this circus? I shook my head. Not yet. Let them enjoy their show. The mic screeched as Principal Grant announced, "Students, line up with your cars. Time for the judge's walk." The crowd clapped. Sophie fixed her hair. Ethan leaned against the car like some movie star, sunglasses glinting. I walked forward, calm, slow, each step steady like I'd practiced it in my head 100 times. Noah whispered, "Oh, this is gonna be good." Sophie's laughter froze when she saw me. "Liam?" "Hey," I said, keeping my tone flat. "Didn't know my car made the list this year?" Her face paled. What are you talking about?" I took the keys from my pocket. The silver keychain dangled, catching sunlight. "This," I said, pressing the unlock button. Click. The headlights flashed. The alarm chirped. The crowd gasped. Ethan blinked, jaw tight. "What the hell?" "Yeah," I said quietly. "It's mine." People started whispering. "Wait, isn't that Liam's car? Didn't Sophie say it was Ethan's?" "Bro, this is wild!" Sophie's lips trembled. "Liam, listen," I cut her off. "Funny how people forget who was driving first." Ethan's smirk vanished like smoke. He tried to laugh. "He's lying. Anyone can fake a key." I popped open the trunk with one press. My gym bag sat inside, right where I left it, initials stitched bold. LH gasps rippled again. Noah muttered under his breath, "Game over." Principal Grant stepped forward, clearly uncomfortable. "Is everything okay here?" "Perfectly fine," I said. "Just showing everyone how truth looks under sunlight." Sophie reached for my arm. "Liam, please, it wasn't what it looked like." I looked at her hand, then at her eyes. "You kissed him in my car, Sophie. You made sure the world saw it." "That's exactly what it looked like." Her voice broke. "I thought it was his." "I swear I gave a hollow laugh. "You thought it was his. That's the point, isn't it? You didn't care who he was, just what he drove." Ethan stepped forward, trying to act tough. "You're making a scene, man." I tilted my head. "No, I'm making a point. You played rich. She played loyal. Both of you played yourselves." The crowd murmured louder, phones out, cameras rolling. Ethan grabbed Sophie's wrist, pulling her away, but she shook him off. "Ethan, don't," he snapped. "You told me it was yours to begin with." That sentence echoed across the courtyard like thunder. I smiled, not cruelly, just free. "Guess you two were perfect for each other." "Built on lies." Sophie's mascara streaked down her cheeks. "Liam, please." "Don't walk away like this," I stared at her. "You already did." Noah stepped beside me. "Let's bounce, man." I turned to Principal Grant, who looked completely lost. "Sorry for the drama, sir." "Didn't mean to interrupt the event." He cleared his throat. Yes, well..." Honesty is always appreciated. That made a few people laugh. Not cruel laughter, just disbelief. As I got into the car, Sophie reached the door. "Liam, wait!" "I can explain." I looked straight ahead. "You already did enough explaining, Sophie." The engine roared to life, smooth and familiar. I glanced in the rearview mirror, her reflection shrinking as I pulled forward, Ethan standing beside her, both of them exposed under the same burning sun. Noah chuckled from the passenger seat. "Bro, that was cinematic." "Didn't plan it," I said, gripping the wheel. "Karma directed it." He laughed harder. "Still, you should have seen her face when you hit the unlock." Pure silence, I smiled faintly. Sometimes silence says everything. As we drove past the line of cars, a few students clapped. One guy yelled, "Respect, man." Another whispered, "That's what real class looks like." But I didn't need applause. I just needed peace. Noah rolled down the window. "You good?" I nodded. "Better than I've been in weeks," he smirked. "You think they'll survive this?" "Ethan will transfer, probably," I said. "And Sophie, she'll learn what pretending costs." The wind hit my face, sharp, cleansing. For the first time, I didn't feel anger. Just release. At the next light, Noah grinned. "So what now?" "Now?" I said softly. "Now I start driving for myself," he laughed. "Deep. You should write that down." Maybe I would. The car rolled on, music low, city lights beginning to glow in the distance. My reflection in the mirror didn't look like the boy who once begged for love. It looked like someone who finally saw through the glass, clear, clean, honest. I pressed the gas gently, letting the car hum beneath me. Behind me, the noise of the event faded, the gossip, The stairs, the broken pride, ahead of me. Just open road, I whispered under my breath. Funny how truth drives smoother than lies. Noah smiled. Couldn't have said it better. And with that, I left the crowd, the noise, the betrayal, all in the rearview mirror. For the first time in a long time, I didn't need to chase anyone. I just needed to move forward. My phone buzzed again. For the 20th time that morning, it was her. Sophie. I stared at her name flashing across the screen, the same way I used to wait for it, back when her texts made me smile instead of sting. I let it ring until it died in silence. Then it buzzed again. Finally, I answered. Liam, she said, her voice shaking. Please don't hang up. I wasn't planning to, I said flatly. Say what you need to say. It was a mistake, she started. Everything that happened, it wasn't what you think. I laughed, the kind of laugh that doesn't reach your chest. You kissed another guy in my car, Sophie. What exactly am I misunderstanding? It wasn't serious, she cried. I was confused, okay? You've been distant, and Ethan, he made me feel important. I cut in. Expensive? Noticed? She went quiet. I leaned against my car, watching the morning light glint off the hood. You didn't fall for Ethan, I said. You fell for the idea of being seen next to him. You kissed the mirror, not the man. Don't do that, she whispered. Don't act like you're above it all. You loved me once. I did, I said softly. That's why it hurts less now. Because I know that love wasn't real, not for you. Her voice cracked. Can we meet? Please, just talk. I'll explain everything. There's nothing left to explain, I said, glancing at the empty parking lot. You made your choice. I made mine. Liam, I hung up. That sound, the quiet click between us, felt heavier than any scream could have. Later that day, Noah and I sat on the bleachers watching people whisper around the courtyard. She's been crying all day, he said. Word is she tried to talk to Principal Grant this morning. About what? I asked. Ethan, he said with a smirk. And you, I frowned. I'm not interested in being part of her drama. You already are, man. The whole school saw the photos. What photos? He unlocked his phone and turned the screen toward me. It was Ethan. Shirt half unbuttoned, looking wasted, with Sophie's lipstick smeared across his jaw. Someone had taken the pictures the night of their study session, Principal Grant found out, Noah said. Apparently, Ethan used the school parking permit for that night. Big violation. Guess who's transferring schools? I exhaled slowly. So Karma works on school hours now, Noah chuckled. And Sophie? She'll live, I said quietly. When I walked through the hallway later, eyes followed me again, but this time, not with pity. There was something else in them. Respect, maybe. Or maybe curiosity, how I stayed calm while the storm spun around me. Liam. Her voice came from behind me. I turned. Sophie stood there, mascara running, hands trembling, eyes red like she hadn't slept in days. Please, she said. Don't walk away. I think that's the only thing I've done right lately, I said. She stepped closer. I was wrong. About you, about him, about everything. I thought I wanted more, but I had it all with you. I sighed. You don't miss me, Sophie. You miss the version of yourself you liked when you were with me. Her lips quivered. You really won't forgive me? Forgiveness isn't the issue, I said. I just don't care anymore. She blinked, tears threatening to fall. You used to look at me like I was your world. And you used to treat me like I wasn't enough, I replied. So I stopped. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The hallway buzzed with chatter, lockers slamming, shoes squeaking. Life went on, as if nothing had shattered. Then behind her, Principal Grant's voice echoed. Miss Hayes, Mr. Brooks, shouldn't you both be in class? Sophie turned, startled. Yes, sir. He raised an eyebrow. Whatever personal matters you're discussing, keep them outside school grounds. This isn't a therapy office. Yes, Principal Grant, I said calmly. As he walked away, Sophie muttered, Even he thinks I'm pathetic now. I looked at her one last time. No, Sophie. You just finally see yourself clearly. She stared at me like I'd just torn open a wound she'd been pretending didn't exist. You changed, she said bitterly. Yeah, I said. You forced me to. I walked away, leaving her standing there. For once, I didn't look back. That evening, Noah joined me at the diner. He slid a soda toward me. To survival, he said. I clinked the glass with his. To lessons learned, he grinned. So you're not going to go full revenge mode? I smiled faintly. No need. The world already handled that part. The TV behind the counter flashed the school bulletin. Weston family terminates sponsorship deal following conduct violation. I couldn't help but smirk. Sophie called one last time that night. I didn't answer. Her voicemail came through minutes later. I'm sorry, Liam. You were right. About everything. I hope one day you'll remember me for who I tried to be, not what I did. I deleted it without listening twice. As I leaned against my car, I realized something. I didn't need to prove anything anymore. Not to her, not to Ethan, not to anyone. Love, real love, didn't need an audience. And mine didn't deserve a performance. I started the engine, the soft growl filling the night air. My reflection in the rear view wasn't the same kid who once begged for attention. I wasn't chasing closure anymore. I'd already lived it. Sophie faded into the background, just another chapter, not the ending. And for the first time, I didn't feel heartbreak. I felt free. The morning sun painted the windshield gold as I sat behind the wheel of my car, the same car that once carried my heartbreak. I turned the key and the engine hummed to life smoother than before. Maybe it wasn't the engine that had changed. Maybe it was me. Still your favorite sound, huh? Noah said, sliding into the passenger seat with his usual grin. I smirked. It used to be hers too. Yeah, well, he said, buckling his seatbelt. I bet she wishes she'd stayed now. I laughed. Really laughed this time. The kind that didn't ache anymore. Maybe she does. But wishing doesn't fix what's broken. He glanced at me. You actually sound okay. I am, I said, surprising myself. I used to think losing her meant losing everything. Turns out I just lost what wasn't real. Noah nodded. Guess that's one way to gain perspective. Expensive lesson, though. Expensive. I grinned. Man, she kissed another guy in my car. That's not a lesson. That's tuition for emotional college. Noah burst out laughing, and the sound filled the car, bouncing off the dashboard like music. For a moment, it felt like the weight that had lived in my chest for months had finally been lifted. We drove through familiar streets, ones that used to make my stomach twist because every corner reminded me of her. The cafe where I caught them. The park bench where she once said, "You're all I ever wanted," lies echo louder in memory than in words. I pulled up to a red light. Across the street, I saw Ethan's old group hanging out. Different car, different girl on his arm. Some people never learn. Noah noticed too. Guess karma drives faster than your car, he said. Guess so, I said quietly. The light turned green. I pressed the pedal. The road stretched ahead, open and endless. You ever think about talking to her again? Noah asked after a while. I shook my head. No, not out of hate, just, there's nothing left to say. He nodded. Closure without conversation. That's rare. I had enough conversations with her lies, I said, glancing at the sky. Now I talk to peace instead. For a while, we just listened to the sound of the tires against the road. It was steady, calm. Not like before. No tension, no waiting for a text, no pretending. Noah reached for the radio. Let's play something old. Maybe that song she hated, I chuckled. You're terrible. Therapeutic, he corrected. As the song played, I rolled down the window. The wind rushed in, cool and wild, brushing against my face like freedom itself. You know, I said, I used to think love was about giving everything you have. He raised a brow. And now? Now I think love without respect is just decoration, shiny, hollow, and easy to break. Noah smiled. Look at you getting all poetic. Don't get used to it, I said, grinning. The road curved ahead, leading toward the highway. The same stretch Sophie and I once drove on, laughing, dreaming, lying. But now it was mine again. My car, my life, my story. As I shifted gears, I whispered, barely loud enough for Noah to hear. Thanks for showing me who you really were, Sophie. He looked at me. You talking to ghosts now? Just closing the last door, I said. He leaned back. So what's next? I smiled. Whatever's waiting on the next road, he pointed ahead. Then drive, man. I did. The city faded behind me, the wind tangled my hair, and the ache in my chest turned into something lighter, Something almost like peace. The boy who once begged to be loved now laughed at the horizon. The man who once broke over betrayal now raced toward freedom, and this time I wasn't chasing anyone. I was finally driving for me.